Sweeney here, and welcome to the Friday Reload number 35. What we aim to do is get you caught up on what you might have missed in the week. So this includes stories, news articles, different new tools that might have come out, videos, case studies, slide shares, everything in between, any kind of content. And we bring the best and the most important to you. The point of that, so you don't have to worry about staying up to date on the latest and greatest. Just follow the Friday Reload and we'll take care of that for you. So some of our top stories, the top 10 local SEO and top 10 PPC articles of 2014, how to grow a thriving blog with less content, and Pinterest promoted pins launching, and much, much more. So this is for the week of January 2nd, 2004. Oops, look at that, 2015. Even I'm still not used to saying 2015 yet. So first up, Pinterest promoted pins are coming out of beta on January 1st. So it's making their reservation-based promoted pin product available to all advertisers on January 1st after only 8 months of launching its beta for brand advertisers and 6 months after launching its beta, or 6 months rather, after rolling out the self-serve interface for campaign management. So basically this was in a limited beta. They wanted to work with larger companies and slowly roll it out before they just let anyone and everyone advertise on the platform. Now, these promoted pins are native ads, no surprise there, and they match the look and feel of other organic pins. So you're going to see a lot of images, clothing, food, and products that users post to their collections. Now, there are some findings from the beta. One of them was promoted pins perform just as well and sometimes even better than organic pins. So brand advertisers achieved about a 30% bump in earned media, aka free impressions from their campaigns. That's from people who saw a promoted pin and thought it was good enough to save to one of their own boards. Engagement is strong. The average pin is repinned 11 times, and that remains true even for promoted pins. Also, promoted pins perform long after a campaign ends. Since these pins are evergreen and last forever, they often saw an extra 5% bump in earned media in the month following the end of a campaign. Brands both in and out of the core categories found success. So from financial services to food and auto, brands from a wide array of industries saw results. Wide array, rather. Also, auction-based cost per click pins are starting to see success as well. Many of these self-serve beta partners are seeing major gains in traffic and impressions. They're still making tweaks to the product and want to make sure they get it right before they roll it out to all businesses. This is a big deal. I've been talking about it for a while. I broke the story when it first came out. And Pinterest is a massive traffic force. I think a lot of us as marketers tend to forget about it because it's all clothing and food, but there's a lot of traffic there, and some people are about to make a lot of money. Next up, we have the Whippies. So these are the best sites of the year on Facebook and Twitter. So the best on Facebook. And real quick, if you're wondering, why do I care? Maybe you're looking to beef up your Facebook strategy. Maybe you're looking to beef up your content marketing strategy, or maybe you're looking to beef up your social strategy. Guess where a good place to start is? That's right, the people who are doing it the best. So on Facebook, number 1 was the Huffington Post, number 2 was BuzzFeed, and number 3 was Fox News. On Twitter, number 1 was BBC, number 2 was Mashable, and number 3 was the New York Times. They also had their best newcomers. So their 3 best newcomers were number 1, Playbuzz, number 2, Vox, and number 3, the Indian Times. Or India Times. Man, that new year hasn't worn off yet. Next up, this is something we had mentioned last week about retargeting. So this is the state of the industry. The past, present, and future retargeting according to 1,000 marketers and 11,000 ad campaigns. So I'm going to pull out a few of the choice stats here. So let me scroll down. One of the big ones, 71% of respondents say that 10 to 50% of their digital marketing budget goes towards retargeting, up 53% from 2000, up from 53% in 2013. Also, 92% of people reported that it performs equal to or better than search. 91% said it's equal or better than email, and 92% it's equal or better than other display ads. For both B2B and B2C marketers, they say social media is the single hottest topic in retargeting. So basically, the really big thing here is everyone's retargeting. Everyone's retargeting. So you should be retargeting. And if you learn how to do retargeting, well, guess what? You can make money. There's money to be made here. Also, some other good stats. Retargeting has expanded up the funnel. 70% of marketers use retargeting for brand awareness, 60% for social engagement, and 58% for customer retention. I mean, just being able to, even if like one of our happy holiday cards, being able to retarget all of our customers and say happy holidays, not even try to sell them anything, just give them, that good feeling. It's a big deal. Lastly, 91% of marketers consider attribution important or critical to success, but about 1 in 3 aren't clear on how to track it. So that means a lot of people are doing retargeting and they don't know how to track it. Sounds like that's a big gap that someone can make some money off of. But that's kind of been known for a little while now. All right, next up, moving into our stories, we have the science of email clicks. So this is the impact of responsive design and inbox texting. So this is a great infographic on email marketing by Litmus. And they teamed up with MailChimp and analyzed over 395 million emails during a 6-month period to examine how a user's preferred device affects email engagement, investigate the impact of responsive design, and find out if testing your emails can increase click rates. So one of the big whammies, 43% of emails are opened on a tablet or a smartphone. So while desktop still seems to be the preferred, you have to remember that that's a big 43%. One of the big numbers is that, let me see if I can, responsive design results in a 15% increase in unique clicks for mobile users. So, I mean, responsive really seems to be the way to go. You have to, I've said it time and time again, but you have to consider mobile and tablets. And it's funny because we all use our mobile phone so much, but why aren't we more cognizant of that? I don't know. But this post has this infographic, very pretty, a lot of nice charts, and a lot of other great stats, especially if email marketing is your thing. Now, next up here, we have how Brian Dean grew a thriving blog with less content, more promotion. So this is a pretty interesting interview, and you're going to learn how Brian Dean from backlinko.com was able to turn his blog into a growing machine. Now, one of his secrets, he's posting less content. He only published 11 posts in 2014, and he's promoting more, but with the proper attitude. Some of the most interesting takeaways are related to how he was able to grow his blog so much in the past year. He did this by blogging less. Instead, he focused on quality posts rather than quantity and working actively to promote those posts. He's now become a widely recognizable expert. So we have a lot of good notes here from this podcast, and I'm going to read them to you guys. So number 1, what were you doing before you started backlinko.com? I was basically a struggling affiliate marketer. I was creating small one-page niche sites with exact match domains. I created 175 of these one-page websites while I was freelance writing on the side. I spent a lot of time on the Warrior Forum. At the first, it was very easy to rank, and then Panda came out and wiped out my sites. Then I moved on to 5-page sites, and Panda came and wiped out those sites. After that, I could see the writing on the wall, and I decided to change my ways. Created a niche authority site that was valuable and promoting it using white hat strategies, and started to do very well. After 3 months, that white hat site was doing $10,000 a month. I then started trying to find blogs that were talking about these more quality link building sites, and I wasn't really finding them, or these quality link building strategies. So instead, I created backlinko.com. Why has the traffic grown so quickly? There are 3 things that I followed and others can follow to grow their traffic. Number 1, I focused on publishing case studies. I realized this was an underserved community that wanted this type of content. Number 2, I stopped publishing as often. The first year, I focused on publishing lots of content. However, in my second year, I focused on less content but higher quality posts. This year, I've only published 11 posts, for example. Number 3, I hustled really hard to promote everything that I published. Are you still working on anything else other than Backlinko? I'm 100% focusing my effort on backlinko.com right now. I do have a few other sites out there, but I'm not putting much effort into them. Backlink is much more fun and rewarding. I think that's an important point, because so often we get into these internet marketing and affiliate marketing and really just doing business on the internet, being an online entrepreneur. There's 100,000 different paths you can chase, but I like how he said, I found my thing, I'm happy with it, and I'm sticking to it and focusing all my effort into it. Now, how is he actually bringing in money with Backlinko? I sell a premium trading course called SEO That Works. That's how I bring in all the monies with Backlinko. And the course is currently even closed. How often does he plan on opening it up? Next year, he plans on opening it a total of 3 times. Are you willing to share any type of revenue or other details? I would rather not give specific numbers. I will say, however, that each launch has brought in over 6 figures, and I've had a few launches this year. The course is priced higher, so I don't need a ton of customers to bring in a significant amount of revenue. Next, do you have a secret formula for creating an interesting blog post title? For every post, I have a keyword that I like to target. I front load the keyword in the title, and then the rest I write about some specific value that I can gain from the post. For example, one of my blog post title is Viral Marketing Case Study: How a Brand New Blog Generated 17,000 Visitors in one day. How can people up their game to create in-depth content? Many people only skim the surface of a topic. My rule is to think an inch wide and a mile deep. Instead of just a post about how to get more subscribers, you could write about how to create the best form for collecting the most email subscribers possible. And that could be much more in depth. Now, this one I really like. How can you write content about a topic, even if you are not an expert? You definitely don't have to be an expert in everything that you write about. Whenever possible, you should use personal experience. You don't have to be an expert. You can just document your own journey. If you use the inch wide and mile deep mentality, you should never run out of topics that you don't have some knowledge on. How much time does he spend on his blog post? About 20 hours. And once it's published, he spends another 10 hours on promoting. Now, what's his steps to promote that? He is a big email guy. He thinks it's given him the best ROI, and he does what he calls a content roadshow. So usually he'll just Google keywords related to his content, find other bloggers, or reach out to those people that come up in the results. He'll simply send an email and just ask if they want to check it out. If they're interested, he'll send the content and ask them what they think. It's very simple. People will thank you and share it with their audience. The interviewer asked, do you ever specifically ask them to share it on Facebook, Twitter, or ask for links? No, never. I don't think it's good form. It can backfire. It may depend a little bit on the niche, but in the marketing niche, people know why you are sending the emails. How many people do you usually contact for a content roadshow? Usually about 100 to 120 emails go out. It's a lot of time, and I have my assistant help me. Do you have any additional words of wisdom that you would like to share? One thing I hear a lot is that people are concerned with how frequently they update their blog. I would just advise that it's not as important to publish as frequently as you might suspect. If you're publishing just for the sake of publishing, you should perhaps think twice about that. So an awesome interview about content marketing. Highly recommend. Now, next up, we have an accidental broken link here. Let's get that site loaded up. So this comes to us from Groove HQ. We've actually featured a few of their posts now. And this one is how we created a product explainer video that actually got people to buy. So they detail the process that they use to increase conversions by improving their explainer video. I'm pretty impressed by their attention to detail and how revealing they are about their own process. I mean, they really didn't hold much back. They show you the rough drafts, their process, their script, everything. And that's the kind of stuff I love. So first up, I mean, I can really tear through this entire thing. I think it's worth seeing, but a few of the highlights: writing the product video script. This is how their flow works. They introduce the problem. They explain alternatives and why they suck. They introduce their solution. They show why their solution is the right choice. And they show proof that it works for others that are like the viewer. And then lastly, they have their call to action. What they ended up with was a 90-second initial script, and it would change several times through the process. And I'm going to read the script to you. So let me have a sip of water here. Here's a problem. As your small business grows, relying on your email inbox to manage support gets really tough. It's impossible to work together with your team. You lose track on your emails, and your customers' issues start to slip through the cracks. So you switch to a real help desk. But most help desks are way too complicated. They're packed with tons of features that you'll never use, and their complexity means that you'll spend more time setting up and figuring out macros and triggers than you do working on your business. That's not okay either. Please read this alternate line as well. And that's not okay. We were tired of trying to keep up with Gmail and struggling with the complexity of our help desk. That's why we built Groove, a simple help desk that lets you and your team deliver awesome personal support to every customer. Groove is as simple as email while making it easy to work together with your growing team. You can assign support messages to coworkers. You can add private notes. You can see who's replying to what. You can automate your workflow with easy to set up rules and labels. You can capture emails, phone calls, tweets, and Facebook posts all in one place. Groove is easy for you and easy for your customers. They'll never have to log in or become a ticket number just to get help. The price is simple, just $15 per agent per month with no limits to how many customers you serve. Plus, you can choose from more than a dozen free add-ons and third-party integrations to expand your help desk. See for yourself why more than 2,000 companies use Groove to create loyal customers. Sign up for a 14-day trial. Click the button below this video to sign up for a 14-day trial today. So from there, they go on to their 5-step product video creation process. So their storyboard, the storyboard walkthrough, revisions, the final storyboard, visuals, voiceover and music, putting it all together, the rough cut, notes on the rough cut, and then the final product video. And their results, the old video versus the new video. The old video converted at about 5.5%. The new video converts at about 6.1%. That is a 11% increase over the previous conversion rate. That's a pretty big deal. And they also ask a quick question in their email, and they've gotten a lot of responses. For example, one of them was, when they're asking, why'd you sign up? They're like, I watched the video and signed up right away. Excited to give this thing a try. They spent in the neighborhood of $5 to $8 grand on the project. And over time, it looks like the results will more than pay for it. Next up, we have 10 things I learned about local SEO in 2014. So as 2014 comes to a close, columnist Andrew Shotland reflects on the things he's learned about local search this past year. So let me take it on over to the blog where I've taken out a few of my favorites. So number 2, great rankings are just a click away, click away, click away. User behavior is an important competitive difference maker in local search. Darren Shaw blew everyone's collective minds at State of Search when he unveiled the results of tests he'd been running on the impact of user behavior in search rankings. So if people are clicking you, you're going to do a lot better in the searches. Number 4, Apple does care about local business. It's often said that Apple's number 1 priority is Apple. Its customers are number 2 and its developers are number 3. It's safe to say that helping local businesses market themselves has never even been in the top 1,000. Until this year, that is, when Apple launched Apple Maps Connect, a way for US businesses to claim and update their listings on Apple Maps. Shortly thereafter, we uncovered that Apple had started to work with a number of big local marketing agencies to allow them to pipe in direct feeds of their customers' data. While it's likely this move was made to improve Apple Maps data quality faster, it's nicer to see what is likely the number 2 most used local search service is becoming more business friendly. Reality is a lot of people probably use Apple Maps, and it's kind of hard to get your listing on Apple Maps, or at least it was before. Number 5, lamination is a review builder's best friend. In marketing, sometimes the simple things are the most effective. I always learn a lot from Phil Roke's take on customer review strategies, but his post 3 nimble moves for local review ninjas has one of my favorite ideas ever of the year, rather. Hard laminate printed instructions you give out to potential reviewers. The lamination makes it hard to crumple up the instructions and throw them away. It makes them harder to lose, and it seems better planned out and overall more sincere. Number 7, Yelp has affordable advertising. The problem is you can't buy it via Yelp. Hint, hint, it's Google Ads. Number 8, the world really is going mobile. We all talk about it. Heck, I was just talking about it. But this past Black Friday, Cyber Monday, we saw a 100% plus increase in mobile traffic to our local retailer clients. According to one national local client that has a partnership with Google, Google's told them to expect 80% of their organic traffic in 2015 will come from mobile search. 80%. The challenge is, as more searches go mobile, conversions can decline. This is particularly true if your site is not mobile optimized, and definitely true if you are selling stuff versus just trying to generate phone calls. And then lastly, number 9, everyone really wants your local SEO budget until they don't. So I have nothing against web developers, ad agencies, etc., who want to get into the local SEO biz. But occasionally, particularly when dealing with smaller local clients, we get into situations where the person running the website or the agency running the AdWords campaign is convinced the client they could also run the SEO program. It makes sense. How hard does it have to be to update a title tag after all? Easier than maintaining a functioning small business website or running a profitable local AdWords campaign from what I see. Inevitably, however, they hit the brick wall that is Google Local. I have talked to numerous SEO pros who do nothing but local SEO all day long. The consensus is, if anything, local SEO is getting more complex. This is all good news for local SEO professionals. But for those who have building a local SEO practice among their 2015 plans, should think long and hard about how they are willing to deal with all the fun that comes with this gig. Next up, we have Mapping It Out, our top 10 local search columns for 2014. So this is by Search Engine Land, and this is their top 10 columns. And I believe it is based off of social shares and page views. So let me rattle these off. Number 1, why did Google's pigeon poop all over big local brands? Number 2, learning SEO from Google employees. Number 3, one positive pigeon result. We can finally ditch ranking reports. Number 4, 6 local tips for small business SEO success. Number 5, simple tips to set the stage for local SEO in 2015. Number 6, 12 things to check in your local homepage SEO audit. Number 7, why Barnacle SEO is making a big comeback in local SEO. Number 8, 5 tips to kill the competition in local search. Number 9, post pigeon best practice, how to optimize for internet yellow pages and directories. And then number 10, simple math to show potential clients why local SEO is important. In a similar vein, we have the top 10 paid search columns for 2014. So this is quality pay-per-click content, and this is also coming to us from Search Engine Land. So let me rattle these off. Number 1, a former Googler's routine for AdWords management. Number 2, an AdWords script to make exact match well exact. Number 3, what's a good PPC account structure anyway? Number 4, not provided comes to page search. What will the impact be? And number 5, 7 hidden features in AdWords to make your life easier. Number 6, the real reason AdWords isn't working for many small businesses. Number 7, this AdWords MCC script will save you an hour every day. Number 8, what marketers need to know about the new AdWords quality score. Number 9, are you ready for the new Google shopping campaigns? And number 10, will ask.com Google arbitrage ever stop? Next up, tool time. So this is where we highlight some different tools. So the first one is templated.co. This has 844 free CSS and HTML5 templates. One second here. Looks like my screen share is a little thrown off. Well, I guess we'll have to see on that later. So 844 free CSS and HTML5 site templates. And yes, I do this live if you couldn't tell. So this is a collection of all these different site templates, and they're released under the Creative Commons. Who doesn't like a ton of free site templates? Next up, we have Instapage, which I've heard good things about recently. And everyone knows about lead pages and always talks about lead pages. So here is a different solution if you want to check it out. Instant Page, it's really good for great landing pages quickly. Next up, we have youcanbook.me, which is free booking software. You get your personalized scheduling page. Your clients can view and book on any device, and the bookings go straight into your Google Calendar. Then we have how Mackenzie finally learned Rails in 12 weeks. How I finally learned to build stuff with Rails. Hint, I built 12 different web apps in 12 weeks. And then we have a quote here by Hitan Shah. In order to create SaaS products, you have to understand how they're built. I've learned by helping and watching many developers make software over a dozen years. Yet I'm not a programmer, and I like to say that I fake it. I've always wanted to spend the time to write actual code myself. I'll start by following this guide and screencast by Mackenzie. Next up, we have the Customer Lifetime Value book. As they say, acquiring customers is hard. So keep your friends close and your customers closest. What this book's going to teach you is, by the way, did I mention it's free? What customer lifetime value is and why it matters to you. How to identify your best customers and find more of them. How to build authentic and profitable relationships with your customers. How to increase the value of your average order. And how to increase the frequency at which your customers spend more money with you. And then our last little tool here is Google Plus makes your videos look better. Now with one click, you can enhance the lighting, color, stability, and coming soon, speech even in your videos. Now this is one of those cases where the video really says it all. So let me head on over to the YouTube page so you guys can see this real quick. Look at the one on the left, look at the one on the right. I mean, it's almost insane. So Google Plus now to boost up your videos. And we're going to kind of breeze through these next stories because I know we are running short here on time. So first one is how a 4-step Amazon hack helped me convert visitors into paying customers insanely fast. This is a step-by-step small guide on how to launch and market your product online. You will learn how to find a product that people actually want, how to make it even better than what is already available, and how to write a pitch based on your research. Also, there's a good post by him called How Product Hunt Helped Me Go From No Idea to Profitable in 15 hours, including 6 hours of sleep. So he wanted to start a business with recurring revenue that would take care of his monthly bills through a steady income and give him more freedom to work on bigger ideas without having to rely on outside funding. Here's how he got started. Next up, we have 25 lessons from guest blogging for the top blogs in the world. So this is on CoSchedule blog. So guest blogging can be a very attractive way for getting traffic to your own websites, establishing relationships, and also in some cases, generating leads. This is a step-by-step guide on how to get started and get results. Now, during the past few years, the author says, I've written for some of the most popular marketing blogs in the world. Blogs like Social Media Examiner, Marketing Professors, Copy Blogger, Pro Blogger, Kissmetrics, and the list goes on and on. It's been an honor to guest blog for such amazing publications. Along the way, I've learned a thing or two. So if you're thinking about guest blogging as a way to market your company, this will help get you started. Or if you're already guest blogging, this will help you get even more out of it. Then we have the 8 easy steps to write killer landing page copy. So this slide share is filled with great advice, many tips and tricks on how to make your landing pages stand out, convert better, and really get the most out of your copywriting, call to action, customer expectation, and much, much more. Then we have the massive ranking factor too many SEOs are ignoring in the Whiteboard Friday by Rand Fishkin over at the Moz blog. This is all about engagement. So he talks about this one factor that's going to help you from Google. Despite the fact that there's still some ambiguity from Google around the ranking factor, there's evidence that all marketers should start optimizing for. Now, our last story is how the human brain experiences your brand. This is an awesome post. I really like this. Basically, it covers the scientific aspect of how we receive brands. So step 1, and I really say it's worth checking out and reading. Step 1 is the visual capture and transmission. Step 2 is shape recognition. Step 3 is visual mapping. Step 4 is memory matching. And then step 5 is enrichment. And there's tons of little science sprinkled throughout this one. Now it is time for our honorable mentions. So we have a few different ones here. Let me get all the way down to the bottom here. So some easy tips for making hard decisions. So Dharmesh Shah of HubSpot shares a few different tips on making hard decisions easier. Then we have using jobs to done for copywriting. We have the comprehensive guide to measuring your content marketing. This is huge. I'll just scroll through real quick just to give you an idea. I mean, this thing is a monster. We have what most salespeople do in the demo that loses the deal. We have how to be an expert in a changing world by Paul Graham. This was a very recent post of his, December 2014. And lastly, our startup pre-launch strategy. So that wraps it up. Thank you for joining me for the first Friday reload of 2015 and the 35th Friday reload overall. I hope you guys are excited. I hope you are prepared. I know it's always a little weird, right? The first of the month, everyone's usually a little hungover, and then the second is a Friday, so then the weekend hits. Take the weekend, relax, read a good book, take a notepad, write out what do I want, and write out what is keeping me from getting there. And you might just find a few different secrets and tricks and tactics. No, I'm kidding. But honestly, especially if you haven't written in a while, take out a good old-fashioned notebook, write what do I want at the top 6 times, and start answering that question. And then write what's keeping me from getting what I want. That's an awesome little trick by Sebastian Marshall. Shout out to Sebastian Marshall. And I will see you guys again next week.